worked away in the studios. You know, you were on just about every record that came out of Motown. But you didn't, you know, nobody knew you were there really. Nobody even figured out that all female voices on those things. So what was your kind of feeling working on those things?
Well, because I love the music so much, my feeling was it was great. And you don't think beyond, you know, that moment, you know, and you just know that it's a good song. It goes over well, you know, with the artist and everything, and you just, you know, and then when you hear it back, it's just wonderful, and you know, and we just love to sing.
Yeah.
And so we didn't think about, you know, and then again, sometimes you think, well, maybe they would give you the credits, but if they, you know, don't, they just don't.
Because you had quite a lot of creative input, didn't you? You weren't just given a part to sing.
Right. We did a lot of the backgrounds ourselves. Some of the people came in and they knew basically what they wanted and all the intricate things that come with it. Then we did, you know, and it was kind of like sort of a natural thing. It's beautiful.
And it went sometimes like from basic gospel kind of stuff to some extent, right through to some really complex stuff.
Yes, it did. You know, in some little, we started out with some little bubblegum kind of stuff, you know, like, you know, little happy, you know, and, but it ended up, yeah, some of the things were quite complicated, you know, and,
yeah, I think of maybe Bernadette or...
Yeah, oh yeah, and the thing, I think we spoke about Dave Vanderpit, and we spoke about Paul Reiser, and these were arrangers and writers that really wove that music together, you know, and when you have good writers and arrangers that know what they're doing, you can sing just about anything, and you know, because they know what they're doing, they know, you know, and they inspire you to do your best.
Yeah, there was that element with Motown, wasn't there? I mean, it was competitive on the one hand, but there was this kind of great coming together,
Right.
a multi-layered kind of thing. Every
Right.
Motown record was on like about
Right.
10 different levels.
Right. It was competitive among the producers and everything, and sometimes, you know, it involved a lot of fussing, you know, who was going to do what first, you know, and they had a artist development thing where they groomed some of the people, and then they had this other thing that they would go in and they would critique the records, and if everybody was in accord, then that would go first, and they were trying to really, everybody wants to be first. You know, but that was something. Some things, because I was just in the singing part of it, you know, I didn't get a chance to go to artist development, but I wanted to go, because I never learned how to dance well.
And when you recorded, how often were, like, you know, we get this, there's a general picture that the writers came out to the Funk Brothers and they laid down a rhythm track, and then like there was maybe a guide vocal and so on and so forth, and then you had lots of layers being added later on, like with the symphony stuff being put on last. How often were you there working with the band in the Snake Pit?
During the earlier days, we all worked together, which was a wonderful thing because the musicians were funny and everything. But what complicated matters in working together is that you can get a track down, 100% together, and somebody sneezes. And then you got to go back and do the whole thing again. And then, if that didn't happen, by the time you got all finished and it was great, Barry Gordy would come down and change something, you know, and then you'd have to start all
That's
over.
his job to change something.
Yeah, I know, but you know, wait till you get 15 takes, you know. But We found out that later on, you can work faster if you have the everything laid down. You call the musicians in, let them work out everything, then call in your singers. You maybe get one of the guys that wrote or whatever to just lay down a lead track so that you know what to follow. And it worked. You worked a little bit quicker that way because we were turning out things on one after another, and there was no time to be there taking 25 tracks because somebody would sneeze or and then the other thing is sometimes everything would be going good and something happens and this contagious laughter, and I mean it's just like it's like catching on fire, like somebody laughs over here and then it goes over here, and then pretty soon you got to take about 25 minutes to people get themselves together, and then after that, then you hear one person say, then you got to go again. But it was fun. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah. So on all the atmosphere, there wasn't this kind of pressure that it would be now, like paying for studio time, that people would say, look, this is deadly serious.
No, like after a while, when things begin to really when we begin to put those things out, day after day and midnight sessions and stuff, like time was an element. And I think if you went over your time sometimes, because there were people that were coming off of the road and they wanted to get in the studio and they had to leave again and stuff. So I think they fined some of the guys, and, made extra money. Oh well.
Oh well. And did you? Were there some a lot of the producers were very young, weren't they?
Yeah, everybody was there.
Yeah, and probably the most experienced people there were the musicians, weren't they?
Yes, yes.
So did you find? It must have been a pretty nerve-wracking thing sometimes for those young producers to walk into the snake pit and bring in a thing for those guys to.
But we were all helpful to one another, and if it didn't go right, say like Jameson was on the bass, and Jameson would say, well, go and they'd go, okay, we'll try it. So we tried a bunch of stuff, and it was so that everybody kind of looked out for everybody, and the whole thing was that if it didn't sound right, if it didn't gel right, then they just fix it. No argument. Well, maybe, but we all work well together.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing is that when somebody hears something in their head and it's only in their head, and they want you to reproduce that, and it's hard to do, and they don't want to change, and so you just have to kind of go with the flow, But then when they hear it, then they'll call you back and do, but it was fun. It was, it was hard work though. It was not easy, and sometimes, when it's especially, which I think Jackie and Marlene had a better ear than I did, and sometimes I could go soaring off into the blue, but everybody was so nice, I don't think that there will be a time like that again. That's only a once in a lifetime thing, and I am so glad I was a part of it, even if I was supposed to be an opera singer.
Yeah, well, that would have been a whole different.
Oh yes, yeah. But I am glad for the experience, and and it's too bad that we didn't think back then to do a lot of pictures, or maybe like a camera going, so that you could capture that. You can only go by what they tell you. And everybody, when they start talking about Motown and sessions, you know, the good part of it, your eyes light up, and you know, and you can just feel that what they're saying. You know, it's just a feeling that's just really good, and it makes you want to be there. You know,
That's what gets to people who are Motown fans right around the world, isn't
Yeah.
it? That spark, that is the spirit that comes through in Motown.